Books for intelligent readers who like to think about the infused, rugged individualists trying to do the right thing in a wrong and dying world. Author M.J. Politis has written over 60 exciting fictional books based on real life and facts. His books and humanistic, humor-filled, historical with contemporary, edgy stories suggesting ways we as a species can get real, smart, and healthy below the neck and between the ears. To learn more about MJ Politis' books, visit www.lulu.com and search for him. That's spelled Politis. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing Forbidden Love. So before we hop into the episode, we're going to do a couple of things in the beginning. One of those things being hot goss. So again, more from Jen, our bachelorette. She's kind of doing the podcast media tour right now, and her next stop is at the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. So in this particular one, this is kind of where she talks about Aaron and his departure and kind of what she kind of felt about that, which I think it's kind of great to hear. You could tell she was visibly pissed, but kind of hear her kind of put it into words is kind of great. So for those people who didn't hear that podcast, just gonna get into that. So this podcast is Joe and Serena's podcast, and they asked her if she was upset about Aaron's decision to leave, and she said she was at peace with it. She shared, I wanted to see where things were going, but in my head at that point, I had some really strong connections with the other guys, so she wasn't too hurt by it. So I wasn't necessarily heartbroken that Aaron was leaving. I was honestly genuinely happy for him to get his opportunity that he's been wanting for so long. Then Joe and Serena asked Jen how she felt when Aaron revealed that he thinks some guys are there for the wrong reasons without saying who before he left. So Jen got candid here, saying, quote, I was immediately so pissed when he didn't tell me who. Here's my thing with that. Say that you're going to leave. I support you in all of your dreams. But then you tell me there are people not here for the right reasons and won't tell me exactly who, and that you trust my decision making and that I'll make the right choice. If you trust me, don't tell me that then. Amen. Just let it play out. And that's that. She went on by saying, I feel like him dropping that bomb was a little selfish in a way. 1000%. If you're going to drop that bomb, then drop all the bombs and tell me who it is. Stick with your gut with it, but he didn't, and that is what aggravated me. Not necessarily that I would have trusted who he would have said, because at that point I trusted myself more than this guy who had only known for a couple of weeks. It was just an annoying situation to have to deal with. And Jen revealed who she thought Aaron was talking about. I don't think it's any surprise to anybody. But she said, I immediately thought that Aaron was talking about Devin, and I wanted him to just say it. I wasn't blind. I knew that they had beef from the ice cream situation. So I wasn't dumb, but if you're going to say something, man up and say it. Amen. So that's basically that on that. Next piece of hot goss is actually Love in Paradise related. So if you remember, I think it was season 3 of Love in Paradise. We had, all different people on that. We had Lydia and Iscott, and we had April and Carlos and Valentine, but Valentine, we had a lot of people. So this wasn't the last season of Love in Paradise. This was last year's season of Love in Paradise, which I didn't cover this season. But if you remember, there was Matthew and Anna. She was the Brazilian girl, and he was the guy when they went to Carnival. He was kind of like really weird looking. Anyways, they got married. They ended up having their fairy tale wedding in Las Vegas. And Anna shared this to her followers on Instagram on August 4th, 2024. I believe they got married in July, but we'll get to it. Anna posted several photos clicked after their wedding ceremony in Las Vegas. They stood with the Bellagio Hotel and Casino in the background. The couple both flaunted their brightest smiles in their wedding attire. Matthew in his gray suit and Anna in her halter neck bridal gown with a long beaded cape. She looked beautiful. They looked beautiful together. And yeah, I have a photo of her post, so I will post that. Anna used her caption to reveal that they had gotten married over 2 weeks ago. She wrote, quote, "The best day ever, July 21st. She used her Instagram stories to share that she shared that she would be posting more photos from their wedding day photo shoot soon. Meanwhile, her Instagram bio also reveals that she is currently working as a private English tutor. Matthew and Anna, as we know, had met when he was doing a live broadcast, and she had joined in as a viewer. So, yeah, congratulations to them. I'm happy she finally made it. I guess their story just wasn't good enough to have them on 90 Day OG, but maybe we will see them. I don't know. Maybe they're going to be in an upcoming season. I don't know, because this would have just happened. I don't know. We'll see. But that's basically that. Another thing that I want to discuss, because I haven't really been discussing this, is as just as frustrated as every other user here who isn't getting access to the HEA tell-alls on either Discovery Plus or Max, I tend to do my notes off of Discovery Plus. And it is very frustrating to see that those shows are not on there. And the reasons behind that is because, well, we want to get as much from, I guess, viewership, before putting it on Discovery Plus, and Max, which is just fucking ridiculous. It's very frustrating for me too, as a podcaster, because I don't get screeners. So it's very frustrating, but hopefully people are finding ways to get access to this. I know TLC Go is an option. Recording the show, if you have cable, is another option if you can't watch it live when it's on. And they will be putting these all out there eventually at the end of this season, but that won't be until probably September, close to September. So I'm still, getting access to it in my way. And obviously I'm still podcasting because I did the podcast for the first one last week. But I know it's very frustrating, and I haven't really been talking about it because I am also frustrated as a user. We pay for this, and, we can't actually get what we're paying for. So that's basically that on Hot Goss. Quickly, before we get into the episode, I do want to kind of go over the schedule for this week because it's going to be a little different this week. A lot of the episodes kind of came out pretty quickly last week. So basically what's going to be happening is you are going to be getting Below Deck probably tomorrow, probably, I'm recording this on a Tuesday, so you'll probably be getting this on a Wednesday. So probably after this episode later on in the day, you will be getting Below Deck because we're going to be having a guest on that episode. So we're going to have that earlier this week. Toe you'll get on Friday. Toe you'll get on time. Sorry. HEA. You're not going to get until Friday because we're going to have Letitia on as a guest for that. And UK, you're probably going to get that on maybe Saturday or Sunday, maybe Monday, but Monday at the latest, because we're going to be having a guest on that one as well. And it's going to be Ava, because we definitely talked about getting her on the episode before for UK, but unfortunately with her being sick and stuff like that, so it just didn't happen until now. So you're going to get that final episode a little later. And as for everything else, you'll kind of get them as they come. Love is Blind UK, that's coming out on Wednesday. I am going to be unavailable for most of Wednesday, so I don't believe I'm going to be able to get those episodes out to you until the following week. Go try to get them out before the next batch of episodes come out, but that's the plan. You won't be seeing those until probably the following week. Perfect match, still working on it. I apologize. I was hoping to get those to you over the weekend, but I should be getting another batch to you. I'm going to say Thursday or Friday, and maybe even over the weekend, we are going to finish those up. And that's basically that. Love on the Grid, I noticed, is back for a season 2. I did enjoy the season before. That might be an option for me to cover, but it's gonna have to be after Love is Blind is finished. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I could trickle things in here and there, but the focus has to be on that because that's just, and there's so, all the episodes are out already, so we'll have to do it that way. But we'll see how it goes. I will confirm if we will be doing Love on the Grid or Love off the Grid. Sorry, technically Love off the Grid, not on the grid. They want to be off the grid. Love off the Grid. I'll confirm that with you if we're going to be doing that after Love is Blind. But we're at the 11-minute mark. Let's get into the reason that we are here. Forbidden Love, Season 1, Episode 3. Love is a battlefield. Okay. Of course I'm going to sing it. I did it with the episodes, okay? So we're going to be doing it with this too. So we got Kris and Lensa first. So Lensa, she's in Ohio, y'all. She's going to be here for 2 weeks. She's hoping that by the end of this trip that they can kind of agree on kind of what religion they would want to be. Because obviously she does say at some point here in this episode is, we can't have children in a 2-religion household. Can it happen? Absolutely. But they're both very dedicated in their religions, and they're also very strict religions that it's not going to happen. But again, as we can kind of see, she wants him to convert. He wants her to convert. Not going to convert. Actually, if anything, I think he might consider converting more so than she would. Because I think religion is very important to him, but I think his motivation for staying Christian is because of his parents and his family more so than it is about him. But we'll see. And we do find out here that I don't think we knew before is that he's actually going to be moving to Grand Rapids. Okay, so we didn't know this before. This is interesting because I feel like if he has the separation away from his family, and I think, again, it makes sense for him to move. She has a son. But if he's partially removed from his family, maybe that would give him better perspective as to what he wants to do with, like, whether or not he wants to convert. I really do believe he hesitates because of his family. So they are going to his parents the next day for dinner. We'll get to it, y'all. She said meeting his parents the first time was very interesting. She said that his dad basically told her that she was going to be damned to hell if she didn't accept God as her Lord and Savior. I mean, come the fuck on. I mean, I'm sorry. This is the issue I have with religion sometimes. Like, I believe in a God. I believe in Jesus. I believe in all those things. It's something that has been a part of my life all my life. But I do not believe in this sanctimonious attitude bullshit from people who preach Lord Jesus and all of this to people who are honestly furthest from being Christian themselves. And it's honestly, I like the storyline for the mere fact that the dad is entertaining and I like her. I do like him too. But it's also very triggering because this is part of my life with some family members, like I've mentioned before. So it's just, I hate this shit. Anyway, no, she's not going to hell. It's fucking ridiculous. Anyway, they start talking about religion when they're in the car, and she says although they are on the marriage track, which they've only been together for 9 months, but she already knows they're kind of headed in that direction, she will not marry a non-Muslim. So really and truly, this is why, like, I'm of the belief she is not converting. She's not, and she shouldn't honestly have to, nor should he have to. I'm not saying he should have to either. But neither party should have to convert. But she is hell bent. She is not converting, and she's not going to marry a non-Muslim. Also, I think her parents would not even allow her to marry a non-Muslim based on kind of what we hear a little later. Anyway, the next day, he kind of makes a comment, oh, you changed, because I guess she was wearing something different. And she's like, yeah, you can see my nip-nips. That's what I'm calling it from now on. She basically doesn't want to give his dad a heart attack. We get to his parents' house, and did y'all notice the J on the front door? Now, I don't know their last name. I'm very curious to know what their last name is. If anyone knows, let me know. But I said to my mom while watching the episode, I'm like, is J for Jesus? Seriously, I'm pretty sure the fact that they focus on the J on the front door, it's J for Jesus. I'm telling you this right now. I kind of want to know his last name now. Maybe I'll do a search and I'll figure that out. But I'm like, nah, man, not J for Jesus. Okay, so we're gonna get ready to eat. We got some collard greens. We got some sweet potatoes. We got mac and cheese. We got baked chicken. We got deviled eggs. Interesting choice. I'm not going to go there, but I'm just like, this is going to be great. I mean, all of it sounds good. So his dad basically says in a moment that, I believe that she will accept Christianity. Why do you say that? Because you just assume everybody wants to accept Christianity. Everybody wants to be Christian. Everybody wants to be saved. Like, give me a break. He's like, we just gotta teach her harder. Praise God. I mean, this man. So they're gonna bless the food, and he says amen, and I'm like amen, and she says thank you Allah. I didn't quite catch how she I'm blanking right now. I didn't quite catch what she said in Arabic, but she said thank you Allah, right? And he's like, he does like the double take. He's like, what blasphemy is this? Is what he's clearly thinking. And he's like, what'd you say there? You said who? Allah. I said, oh, okay. What's the first part you said there? Thank you, Allah, right? And he's like, do you include God, Jesus, in your prayers? No. Why the fuck would she? She's Muslim. I'm not including Allah in my prayers because I'm not Muslim. It's really truly just common sense. It's not hard. So the thing too, I missed this part. When he was kind of questioning her, when she said, thank you, Allah, he's like, what'd you say? Ola? No, Allah. You know what the fuck she said? She didn't say fucking Ola. She said Allah. Anyways, okay, back to the other part. His brother basically then asks, does the Quran, surprise it's called a Quran, acknowledges him dying on the cross? No. Again, no. Why would it? The Quran is not the Bible. Why, the Bible includes that. Why would the Quran? And I'm not one to act like I know what is in the Quran. I've never seen the Quran, so I don't know, but I would imagine anything in the Quran is not going to be in our Bible. So it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? So she says no to that as well. And his mom then says, it's crazy. I mean, when I heard that she doesn't believe in Jesus, I'm like, wow, really? What do you mean? You think that you are the only religion? This is the problem I have with Christians. You think that Christianity is the only form of religion? And then again, let's not forget that Christianity is the umbrella. There are then different sects of that religion. I'm seriously, what the fuck? The ignorance is ridiculous. And it's like, I'm all for you not necessarily knowing everything about everything, but at least be willing to learn. But the fact that you're just like, wow, really? People don't believe in Jesus Christ? No. No, they don't. Like, what the fuck do they teach people in the States? I really want, no offense. I really want to know, because in high school here in Canada, we learn world religion. And I know I've heard people who are American talk about world religion, that they've learned it. And then again, is in a Catholic school. I went to a Catholic school learning about world religion. Now it was only 1 year, but we still did that. And it was one of my favorite classes, was learning world religion. After learning religion for 16, 17 years, and then you get just a break and you're learning other religions. It's incredible. I don't understand. I just don't understand how people just think it's one religion and that's it. One religion fits all, apparently. So Lensa explains that Muslims believe that Jesus is a prophet, which I've definitely heard before, but they do not believe that he is the son of God. That's impossible. God can't have a son. He's not human, right? And I kind of get that because, as much as I believe in all of it, and it's the, Mary the Virgin, got pregnant with this being, I get all of that. I believe it to an extent, but I believe it. But at the same time, it's like, I also can understand how that shit don't make sense to other religions. But yeah, they believe that Jesus is a prophet. They just don't claim him. That's fine. You don't need to claim, right? Just like Allah is God, and then they have Mohammed, who is the prophet. It's they just don't claim Jesus as their God. Totally get it. Don't understand. His dad is like, I was a sinner. Basically, I guess trying to say she's a sinner for not believing in Jesus. But anyways, I was a sinner. And then one time I was on the dance floor, praise God, and I heard a voice. Then this voice told him, and I quote, "What if I killed you? Where would you turn? Where would you lift your eyes up at?" That's what it says. I'm like, sir? And this is the thing. I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum or anything like that, but when I hear people saying that they hear the voice of God in their head so fucking clear like that, I'm like, oh, can we say cult leader? Maybe that's again just me being a cold-hearted bitch. I don't know. But I'm just like, I would have gotten that checked out, man. Because my skeptical self over here is like, is that God or is that schizophrenia? I'm so serious. Like, sir. And he's like, that got me. And then he heard the second time this voice say to him, you're saved, or you're saved, whatever. And I was like, it's as easy as that. Lord Jesus, okay. All right. Praise God. All right. And he said, thank you, Jesus. Then he starts speaking in tongues. Oh, God. And I'm with Lensa. I'm not about this shit. It's fucking weird. It is uncomfortable. I would literally be that person like, the fuck are you saying? Like, seriously. I would either A, say, what the fuck are you saying? Speak English to me, sir. Or number two, I'm gonna walk away and say, nah, I ain't about this shit. Because, again, I'm gonna go there, cult leaders have, quote unquote, talked in tongues before, and it's all bullshit. This is bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm sorry. Nah. Summon. Like, that's, nah. And yeah, so it's like, again, thank you, Jesus. Nothing like being saved. It's like being filled with the Holy Ghost. And again, not trying to yuck anyone's yum, but don't call it the Holy Ghost. I think the Holy Spirit just sounds better. It sounds like light, you know what I mean? Anyways, he does ask here, he kind of turns off the God thing for a second and says, how does your family feel about him being Christian? And she says, yeah, about that. They actually don't know about him. Oh. James and Tata have called and they would like their bullshit communication back. Are you kidding me? I mean, he's over here telling his very Christian family that he's dating a Muslim woman. Why can't you tell your family that you're dating this really Christian man? who may or may not convert. I think maybe that's what's stopping her, which I can kind of understand, as I kind of just want to know where his head's at in terms of religion first. If he's not with it, then I'm not going to tell my family. But I mean, at the same time, like, you gotta tell some, you know? Like, I don't know. And they do kind of ask, like, what would they think? Like, would they tell, like, if they told you you can't marry him, because she does say they would probably be pissed off by all of this. They ask her, like, would they stop you from marrying him? And she says, I don't know. And they then ask her, like, would you listen to them? She's like, I respect my family. I love my family. I don't know. That's not very promising. I'm just telling you that right now. I don't know. I really like her and I like him. And without the religion shit, I think they look great together. But because it's their religion shit, they're not gonna work. I'm telling you right now, none of these people are gonna work. But anyways, let's move on. To our other Muslim couple, or half Muslim, half Catholic couple, Ashley and Mohammed. So, we're walking into the party, and she's like, I brought cake to take away from this that I'm wearing and what he's wearing. And it's like, okay, I mean, at the same time, like, I understand her discomfort, but like, he seems happy in what he's wearing. You didn't have to wear it if you didn't want to. I totally understand why he wants her to wear it. I think she does too. But you walked in there as a unified front, wearing traditional Arabic clothing. Don't be like, cake. Just own it. Anyway, at one point, I don't know if anyone noticed this, her fucking family, I want to know who Tweedledee and Tweedle racists are, because these fucking stupid white ass bitches, yes, I went there, are literally giggling because of what they're wearing. Why the fuck are you giggling? What's so fucking funny? Have you never seen an Arabic man in traditional clothing? Ever? Like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is funny? What the fuck is funny? Fucking racist assholes. Anyway, Jen is like, it was shocking seeing him wear that. It's like, I know it's his culture and everything. I just don't get it. What's to get? What do you mean? That's like him saying, I don't get why, people wear jeans. I don't know. As an example. Like, what's not to get? It's clothing. And for them, what he's wearing, I think it's called a thobe. What his thobe is just as normal as you wearing jeans. It's what's not to get. I'm confused by what you don't get. Anyways, then the conversation starts. Just brewing. Okay. And in the moment, he says that he feels judged, which he definitely is. You had, like I said, two little idiots giggling at him. He feels like a stranger. Yes, you are. At the same time, that's partially on you because you're not showing up either. I do understand why you're not showing up, but then don't be surprised that you are a stranger, because you are. And Jen says, why would you marry a non-Muslim American woman? You might as well have just married someone of her culture. I totally understand that. I think he even understands that. I think Ashley even understands that. But as he said, he's like, but I fell in love with her. Like, what do you want me to do? But at the same time, I don't want to agree with Jen. Jen does say you want her to kind of understand your culture, yet you're not understanding her culture. You have to kind of come to some sort of compromise, right? And what I hated here was him kind of saying, well, before we get to that, Jen's husband, because he's kind of verbal here, kind of says that if she doesn't want to convert, will you accept that? And he does say yes, he will accept it, but of course it would affect him, which yes, I get that. But at the same time, it's like, okay, but if, like, would you convert? Probably not. And that would potentially, it's affecting her too. It's affecting both of you. That's the choices you made getting married to each other. But, it is what it is with that. And then he's like, it's about respect, with different things. And it's like, if she doesn't like obey me or she disobeys me, and I'm like, that's not great. We're talking about a family here who are ignorant of the Islamic faith and culture, but at the same time, they also have a problem with the control aspect of the culture and of the religion on women, because at the end of the day, that is the case, right? And to a certain degree, like, I'm not saying necessarily he is, but kind of. And when he said the word obey, it's like, oh no, oh no. And meanwhile, through all of this, she's silent. She kind of says, like, I just don't know what to say. Something. Ma'am, something. Say something to help this situation, whether it's support him or kind of help mend fences between your family. Say something. Anyway, and her sisters and her husband is kind of like, that's controlling, which when you say the word obey, that does come across as controlling. I would agree. And he's like, no, it's not. And for him, it's not. That is his culture. He doesn't see it as controlling because that is the culture for him. But again, what he needs to realize is that he is married to an American woman where that is not the norm. So I just don't know what to say here about that. Her mom says, listen, when we first met, you said that you would not tell her what to do or what to wear. And he said, yeah, no. He's like, listen, I didn't make her wear that. She chose to. Which, yes and no. You brought it with you with the intention of her wearing it. You pretty much said, like, I would be really great if you wear this. And when she kind of pushed back a bit on it, you kind of pushed back yourself. So even though, like, yes, she still ultimately made the decision to wear it, you came in with the hope that she would, and probably would have been disappointed if she didn't. Don't play games here. Don't play games here, Mohammed. But one of her family members, I don't know who the fuck she is, maybe it was one of the idiots who giggled at him, basically says, what if she wanted to wear booty shorts and a crop top? Is that okay with you? And he says no. And here's the thing. She's married. And it's one thing to wear booty shorts and a crop top in your own home. I'm not trying to say that anyone should have to confine themselves in booty shorts and a crop top at home, but I'm not necessarily surprised that any man of any culture, of any religion, wouldn't be okay with that. And don't act like any man would be okay with that. We've seen, like, sure, the difference is a man who is not either Muslim or maybe even, as we're saying, an Orthodox Jew, maybe they are obviously going to be like, hell no. But someone who is maybe Catholic or just non-denominational or whatever is literally going to be like, you wearing that? You sure? They might not stop her, but like, you sure? I don't know if I like it. That's not abnormal. I know my man would not want to see me walking around in booty shorts and a crop top. Like, first of all, I wouldn't wear that anyways. I wouldn't be comfortable for me, but he wouldn't feel comfortable with that either. Because there's just certain things that I believe, as me as an individual, this is my own thought process, it's my own body that I choose this for. But he also wouldn't be comfortable with that. That's not crazy. But because he is a Muslim man, we're immediately like, oh, he's controlling her. He's telling her what to wear. No, he's a married man who has a kid with her. and he doesn't want her flaunting her body for the whole world to see. I don't think that's crazy. So anyway, they said, well, what if she doesn't want to change? And he's like, well, then I'll just walk out. Walk out how? You mean like divorce? And he says, yes. That's not great. That's extreme. I don't think someone should break up with their significant other because she wants to wear a crop top and shorts. Like, let it go, but then talk about it. And if she still wants to just not take you into consideration, then that's something that needs to be addressed. But you don't just be like, deuces, you know what I mean? That's extreme. So they do say, and I do have to agree with this a little bit. They said, so your marriage is conditional when it shouldn't be. And he basically says, yes, like it's conditional. He's like, I will never, ever let her go outside half naked. Well, and I don't think that's like, it's just not crazy to me. It's not a crazy request for any man to not have his woman walk out the street half naked, in his words, or showing, you know, belly and ass and all that. Like, I don't think that's crazy. So she kind of like, well, this isn't going as planned. No shit, ma'am. Jen's husband says you want her to accept your culture, yet you don't accept her. So this is where the culture thing comes in. And I didn't like this on his part. He's like, what culture? That's not culture. Clothes isn't culture. And it's not just about the clothes, which, yes, maybe that's not necessarily a culture thing, but he's literally saying, generally speaking, you don't respect her culture, but you want her to respect yours. And I hope he doesn't mean like, oh, American people don't have cultures, you know, because being American is a culture and everyone has their own things within that, you know, within their families. That is a culture. So and it's society that is a culture. So I hope he didn't mean like, fuck that, you don't have a culture, I do, or whatever. And that he merely was talking about the clothing, which I would agree with him. That's not a culture. That's just, that's a choice you make. And maybe a choice that he doesn't agree with. He's like, I think you just don't like me. And that is also true. They are questioning every little thing because they don't like him. And that's not really fair to him. And he's like, you called me a terrorist, which we have established by both Ashley and Kelly that Jen did call him a terrorist, despite the fact that right in front of his face, Jen still says, no, I didn't. Okay. I said, it's not like I call you a terrorist or some shit. She basically just spewed the same shit she spewed to both Kelly and Ashley. And it's just like, ma'am, you have your two sisters literally saying, that's what you said. And you still want to double the fuck down that you didn't say it. And not only that, at the end of the day, even if you're saying, it's not like I call him a terrorist or whatever the fuck terminology you wanted to use or whatever context you wanted to use it in, you still said the terrorist word. That's just like, I'm not gonna say the word, but it's just like if he was black and you don't like him and you're just kind of like, well, it's not like it's not like, you know, I'm calling him the N-word because I don't like him. You're choosing to use a word that describes the person or describes the person's culture. And you're using the one thing that is going to hurt them the most. You're not going to say to Mohammed, it's not like I'm calling you the N-word, because that doesn't make sense. It's not like you're going to say to a black person, which black people, yes, can still be terrorists, be, you know, whatever, but because we've seen that before, especially here in this country, we've had that. It's not like, you know, you're going to say to a black person though, because the first thing you think of when you say terrorist is someone who's Middle Eastern. You're not going to say, oh, it's not to this black person. Oh, it's not like I call you a terrorist. That doesn't make sense. Use the word that's going to hurt him the most. And that's fucked up. She's fucked up. And he does deserve an apology, but she refuses to give him an apology. Bullshit. Anyway, we end this off with someone in the background saying, happy birthday, Jen. She's like, yeah, thank you. It's been a great birthday. Yay. Woo. I think you deserve the worst birthday in history, Jen. Sorry. Anyway, that's it for them. We're not going to take any breaks. We're just going to keep going because we did get the ad in the beginning. So we're just going to keep it going. We don't have much more. We have first still have 2 couples, but it's pretty short. So next we have Lindsey and Elmer. So we got Ellie and Nikki coming over. Eli is ex-Amish and Nikki is English. And Eli left the Amish when Elmer, because they're from the same community, he left when Elmer was pretty young, so he didn't really get to see him kind of growing up or anything like that. Then we kind of start talking about the porn stuff with Elmer and everything, and Eli apparently was doing the same thing as well. And he explains, listen, it's tough because you can develop an addiction to the porn. And the main thing is like the Amish is so suppressed in things that they don't allow you to explore your body in ways that, quote unquote, the English gets to, right? And this is kind of what he explains. He explains that there is no sex education. He says, you'll have like kind of Elmer's kind of pitching in this conversation as well. And he's like, you'll have people kind of walking around with hard dicks and no explanation as to why this is happening and don't understand why it's happening. And Eli gives an example of one time when he kind of woke up from a wet dream, which is something that obviously all boys go through at a certain point, right? That he had this happen and he goes to his mom and he's like, I don't understand like why this happened and like why my dick is hard and all of that. It's like, does he, trying to get some explanation as a child to understand like what his body is going through, because it doesn't matter that you're Amish or Mennonite or anything like that. You're still human and you're going to go through the same things that all humans go through. So he just didn't understand like what his body's going through. And his mom basically said, oh, you'll understand when you're older. That is not an explanation and that is not helping the situation. What the fuck? I can't imagine not being able to feel comfortable in your own body because your body's going through changes as an adolescent and not having the support of your parents. It's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's... Anyway. And Elmer says that when he got his very first phone, the very first thing that he did was watch porn. Great. He explains that he thinks that the reason maybe he did is because he gets that adrenaline rush, which, yeah, right? And he just had to he's basically chasing that rush, that feeling that he maybe just never had before. And he's young, never kind of explored his body in this way, or maybe, he probably did, but like he just didn't have the same freedoms that he does currently. And I'm sure he probably also felt shame because that is what they tell you to do, feel shame for doing this. Like, so he's exploring himself. And I'm sorry, Lindsey, that he's doing it now as a married man with a kid on the way, but he never had that before. You did. We all did at the age that's appropriate. But he didn't get to do that. So now it's his time to kind of go through it. And it can create an addiction. Maybe he needs therapy to help him through that. But like judging him for it and not giving him the space to understand it, all because you're not having sex with him, ma'am, he's gonna jerk off and in tutus be able to still have sex with you. He's a 23-year-old kid who has not explored his body in this way before. He still has the energies that pretty much a teenager has, right? Like, enough of this shit, but we'll get to her in a minute. So whenever she would ask him like whether or not he was watching porn, which, I mean, whatever, he would say no, which that is probably the biggest issue here. Why are you lying to her? But at the same time, Eli kind of explains, listen, the reason he's lying to you is because we are basically told in order to self-preserve in the Amish, you have to lie. So, you have to lie about all the things. So that's where he gets it from. He has to self-preserve, and he knows that maybe for her, this is an issue. He needs to self-preserve. So how do you do it? You lie. So I think that made a lot of sense. So Eli says you gotta be patient with him. And I totally agree with him here. You gotta tackle this differently because you're not going to tackle it by yelling at him, judging him, and all of those things. This maybe needs to be done in a different way. I don't know what that way is, but maybe there's some sort of help out there that can kind of help figure out a way to do it. So she basically takes this conversation and says, well, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. Basically, I guess she wanted everyone to shit on him. And no one's going to shit on him, and no one's shitting on her either. But basically, she's just like, well, I don't have time. We have a baby on the way. So what am I going to do? I'm going to put parental controls on his phone. That seems like the best fucking idea to do. Are you fucking kidding me? This woman. So you're going to basically, it's the thing that you're going to do is prevent him from doing something. Is this what you're going to do to your kids as well? Because I'm just really curious. Like, I understand that something needs to change from her perspective, but you also need to understand that you took on an Amish man. You, I don't want to shame her, but in so many ways, used your sexuality to basically, in the words of reality gaze, Stickler's mom, or the fuck her name is, from American Pie. That's basically what you did to him. And then you want to piss and moan that he's still going through his, basically he is when it comes to sex, he's delayed. When it comes to that, he's a little delayed. And you're going to put parental controls on him like I don't like her. I really don't like her. Anyway, basically the next scene, she does confirm, she put the parental controls on, so now she's feeling a lot better about herself. Good for you. She is going to be doing an ultrasound to see the baby. I think it's the first time they're doing one. They hear the heartbeat, all's great. And in this moment, he kind of says, I didn't know shit about shit when it came to births or making babies. Like, he knew nothing. He's like, I didn't know what sex was until I was 18. I didn't even know you ejaculated, y'all. He's saying this in front of the technician. And she's like, okay, this is not usually a conversation we have here. And he's like, he would basically watch the animals have sex and kind of figured, so do humans do it like that? Pretty much. Pretty much. But he kind of starts talking about the fact that the Fino family doesn't quite know yet and everything. And the fact that he doesn't really have family to tell because he's been shunned and he doesn't really have anybody. And his father basically told him, listen, I would much rather you be dead, like me bury you, than you leave the Amish. That is sick. That is really fucking sick. Anyway, she basically wants to try to bring his family into the picture in hopes that maybe this can kind of help with the baby coming. Ma'am, you are barking up the wrong fucking tree. But go for it if that's what you want to do. Anyways, that's it for them. Let's head into our final couple, Eli and Laurie. So, happy Hanukkah. It is Hanukkah. And this is the first time we're meeting his father, which I think his name is Moshi. Hopefully I said his name right. And this is her first Hanukkah. And we're gonna light the menorah. And they're kind of like singing. And she's like, listen, I don't know what the fuck they're saying. So usually I just kind of lip sync. But really in this moment, they're just going la, 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 la. Like that's all they're doing. And she can follow along with the la, la, la. So we see her mom making latkes, which I love so much. It's so good. She is feeling a little sad though because she is missing out on Christmas, missing out on seeing her family. That's kind of like the main thing about Christmas. I mean, Christmas, yes, it's Christmas, but it's also to spend time with family. And his mom says, why would you be crazy enough to be Jewish? It's hard, which they really do discourage people from converting. But then her phone starts ringing. Sorry, guys, if you can hear my bird in the background. So her mom calls and says, I miss you. I'm sad you can't be here for Christmas. I think they're gonna go see them in a couple of months. And when like her mom says, like, it's so hard not having you here, which, she's a 36-year-old woman. They have spent 35 Christmases together. And his mom literally is like, you're gonna have to get used to it. What the fuck? You're so selfish, ma'am, in this moment to not understand a mother's wish to spend a holiday with her child. Honestly, really and truly, I didn't even think about the fact that she can't even celebrate Christmas. She can't even go see her family during the holidays. Like, they will never be able to spend a holiday with her family. Because obviously, as we all know, Hanukkah and Christmas are around the same time. So like they can never have that. I really think she needs to rethink doing this. I really do, because I think personally, a man and potentially having kids isn't worth losing your family and losing the who you are. It's not worth it. I'm so sorry. It is not. I really do hope she doesn't convert, and I really do hope they break up. Like, this has been fun, deuces. Like, I really do, because I would not. I could not. He tells Laurie that she tells Laurie, his mom, that the woman's role in a Jewish family is very important. They are with the kids all the time. They do the prayers with the kids. It's very an important role. And she says, you know, it's not like a small thing. And I don't want you wasting Eli's time, because I think he would be a great father. I think he'd be a great husband. So I would rather he not waste time with you when he could maybe have someone else for which he can have that with. Damn. Honestly, he's hot. He's hot. I bet he's fun in bed. But it's not worth it. It's really not. I could not do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't love a man enough to really upend my life in that way. And I think the problem is that I think Eli would be a little more giving and a little more understanding of her and her religion and where she comes from. And I think the reason he isn't is because of his parents. And I think they need to back the fuck off. This is a huge thing for someone to do. I know that at the same time, I can understand why they don't back off, but like, I really do think they need to back off. She's 36 years old and this is all she's known. And you want her to just change immediately. I don't get how anyone is really and truly able to do that. I don't. And again, like, we have seen people convert before, but I still think like people who converted before in the past on like these shows are not expected to never be able to, still partake in things in order to be with their family. I'm not saying it's about Christmas. Okay. I'm not saying it's about Christmas. I'm not saying it's about Jesus' birthday and all of that. I'm not saying, you have to focus on those things, but it's about family and being with family. That's like the most important thing about Christmas. So there has to be some give and take. Maybe one year you're home with his family to do Hanukkah. Maybe the next year you're in New York with your family doing, well, not, if you're going to convert, not necessarily doing Christmas, but just being there with your family. There has to be some give and take, because it's not just about the Jewish family. It also has to be about the family who are Catholic. I don't know, man. This is so fucking doomed. But anyways, that is it for this episode for A Forbidden Love. Again, the next thing that you can expect to get is Below Deck Med with our guest, which I'll introduce her when we get to it. But yeah, that's the next thing you can expect. Again, I'm sure you probably have seen that there's no episode that came out yesterday, but you'll be getting an episode on Wednesday. I'll see how things go for Thursday. You might see another gap because of Wednesday, me not being around to do any recording or note taking or anything like that, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe you'll get something. I don't know. But that is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks.